The market is about to take off. Buy now. The orange manna cometh. Tariffs, asteroids, it's all over. I'm not gonna lie, it is very hard to know what to think these days. It's almost exhausting, isn't it? And on top of all the hyperbolic headlines, the first few months of the year are always tough to assess, even when looking at the stats and numbers. But one thing that I am fairly certain about, the inventory that you have always heard industry types screaming about is coming. The question now all of a sudden is, will there be enough appetite for it? Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for the February 2025 edition of our Greater Vancouver Market Update. We make these videos for you so that you can have access to unspun, unbiased analysis of the housing market here in Greater Vancouver, and not just from the stats released by the Real Estate Board, but from those with boots on the ground. If you enjoy this content, we encourage you to help us out with the algorithm and click that like button down below or drop us a comment. And please be sure to hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. All right, let's start with the stats by taking a look at the sales figures for January, which came in at 1,552 total transactions. This was a 12.1% drop from the month of December. Now, December and January are traditionally the slowest months of the year when it comes to sales volume, so a drop like this isn't all that concerning on the surface. But if we look at it from a historical perspective, it's also 11.3% below the 10-year average for the month. Listings, on the other hand, moved in the opposite direction, with a total of 11,494 homes listed on the MLS in January, which was a 13.6% increase over the month before. And this is what I was alluding to in the intro, and something that I'll get into more in the next segment, Boots on the Ground. New listings last month were 31.1% above the 10-year average for January, which to me is a significant development. Again, more on that later. So with inventory going up and sales going down, our months of inventory jumped pretty significantly up to 7.4 MOI and well past the threshold that is typically considered buyer's market territory. And that threshold that I'm referring to is 6 months of inventory, as a balanced market is generally thought of as being 4 to 6 MOI. However, despite the market softening from an absorption perspective, prices have started to inch higher, albeit marginally, from $1.171 million in December to $1.173 million last month, a rise of just 0.1%. We will have to wait and see whether or not this is the start of an upward swing in prices heading into the spring. It appears that it very well could be. But is there something that could derail some of these tailwinds we're seeing? For that, catch our Boots on the Ground segment on our various social feeds in the coming days. And if you're watching this on YouTube, that portion of the update starts now.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
All right, so prices have essentially remained flat now for 4 months, with a very minor increase this last month of 0.1%. With rates expected to drop further, there has been a notable change in sentiment from the buyers that we've been speaking to that now might be a good time to start being serious about finding their next home. I've personally had an above average number of these conversations over the last 4 weeks. But from talking to my colleagues in the field, the conversations that they're having with their clients, well, they seem to think it's still a bit of a mixed bag. I talked about all the external factors that could stall market activity in last month's update. Everything from the current political tensions and tariffs, our weakened dollar, trepidation over the possibility of a federal election being around the corner, are all concerns they're hearing from their pools of buyers. And these are all valid concerns that bring with them a lot of unknowns. But the thing that is making me raise my eyebrows all of a sudden is this. 11,484 listings in January. And this. The number of new listings last month was 31.1% above the 10-year average for the month. Sellers typically prefer to wait until the spring to list their properties. The weather is nicer, the days are longer, their gardens and patios look better, And there's just generally a better vibe in the air because everyone's getting a bit more vitamin D. But as you can see from those listing numbers, there are a lot of people who don't seem to want to wait for one reason or another. Our media team that works with a number of other agents in the region can't keep up with demand. They're shooting 4 properties a day every day and have told me that this is the busiest their business has ever been, which is wild for January, February. Photos equals new listing coming in less than a week. So it's an interesting barometer of what's around the corner. Other agents that I check in with regularly to get a pulse on the market are all saying the same thing. They have a huge pipeline of listings ready to hit the market over the next 4 to 8 weeks. And us personally, we're in the exact same boat. We have a lot of inventory coming to market. From every indication that I'm getting, inventory is coming. It's coming early and it's coming fast, and there's gonna be a lot of it. And the big question is there enough demand to actually absorb it? We're starting the year off in 2025 with an inventory number of 11,494. That's January, over 11,000. In 2022, there were 5,663 listings. Just kind of funny how big that gap is. In 2023, there were 7,478 listings. In 2024, there were 8,633 listings. So that's a 103% increase from 2022, a 54% increase from 2023, and a 33% increase from last year. Remember, prices are ultimately controlled by supply and demand. And the reason why prices in Vancouver have gotten so out of hand is that there was never enough supply. If you're a seller and you're competing with hundreds of comparable homes, the only way to cut through that competition is to be ultra competitive when it comes to price. And if everybody wants to sell, everybody's going to have to be ultra competitive on price. And that's where we might see a curveball in all of this. Only time will tell if buyers are willing to step up to the plate and take a swing. All right, that's it for me for this month. Please like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you right back here in about a month's time. Take care, everyone.